So, thank you so much for joining us today. We are here to reflect on this incredible achievement of ProwessSoft of reaching 100 crores in revenue. So, Ajay and Aravind, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourselves, and then we'll go to YK, who will introduce himself and talk a little bit more about your strategy. But the two of you.
I am Ajay Konda. I'm the one of the co-founder for the Prowess software. And before starting the Prowess, used to work as a principal architect at Tipco Software. Been in the integration space around that time, close to 15 years. And then we had a passion to become an entrepreneur. That's where we started this Prowess software. We never thought that we'll achieve this milestone. But yeah, definitely with the support of NeoStrategy and YK. And we are here.
Aravind, please.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Manisha. Good to have you here. I'm another co-founder for Prowess. I did work in US for more than 15 years. I did my master's there, and then I used to work there as a principal architect in Tipco as a company. And we resigned in 2016. Me and Ajay decided to come back to India, and we came to India and started this Prowess in 2016 February. It's been 9 years. We are going to complete 9 years on this 26th February. And yeah, achieving 100 crores milestone this year is a dream come true for us. Thank you, YK, for all the support. I mean, we never have a dream that we'll build a company of this size and of this amount of the people. Just that with the help of YK and all the support, I think this came true for us.
I think the what I'm hearing from the two of you is that maybe this was always something that was a dream, the 100 crores number, but it looks like, maybe achieving it in this short of a time span was what is remarkable. And I'm going to ask YK to talk a little bit about his journey and how it was crucial for him.
Yeah, so my name is YK. I'm the founder of NeoStrategy. I've been in IT services industry for long. I worked there for 20 years. 6 years back, I started NeoStrategy out of just my passion to just do something different compared to my regular job. I didn't know what I was going to do. I had a bit of a passion or natural strength for coaching. I was trying to just to do a more of an executive coaching kind of thing. I didn't realize that I could do business coaching, but thanks to Aravind, I conducted one workshop in 2019 just on some strengths and some corporate for corporate people, and he wrote a feedback saying that YK, this is meant for looks like for corporate people. We are entrepreneurs. Can you do something? Then I met him in 2000. I mean, around after that workshop, 2019 beginning is when we started. Okay, so he then only thing that I asked was, what is your vision? How can I help? Because I didn't had an engagement structure to how to work with businesses. So they said they were a bit kind of not having that clarity, but with the series of few discussions we started off. Yeah, that's how our journey started.
So then the next question for you would be that did 100 crores come up then? So
Yes.
yes. Okay. See, there
Actually,
you go. So
yeah,
it was always a part of.
I'm a kind of person, unless I have a end goal, I mean, it's not exciting for me. So initially, we just started off trying to figure out their strengths, trying to understand where the gaps were. So my initial 6 months of journey with them was mostly working with Ajay and Aravind on their strengths and all those things. But after that, I also kind of realized that there is no goal clearly defined. We started forming a certain vision and goals high level, and then quickly I realized that there are some talent gaps in the core team. That's when we brought some people, and that's how it started. The vision formed right after our 6 months of engagement, and then we said, okay, why don't we just build 100 crores? I don't know what they thought initially when I said that number, but I was very clear I would work with that goal.
Okay.
But more Jay and Arvind can add.
Yeah, I would love to know what the thinking was, when you started with ProwessSoft, what the inspiration behind that was, and then, what changed when YK came on board, for example.
Initially, I mean, we are entrepreneurs by genes, we can say. So we always have passion to start something in our own. In the US, with all the immigration and other things, we felt not very conducive for us, and we always wanted to come back India with all our family being here. We want to stay close to the family and stay in India. And my father was kind of inspiration for us. I mean, he has that mindset from his childhood, saying that, oh, let's build this, let's build. So we used to have a discussions when we were childhood, saying that we have to do something, build something, kind of thing. And when we grew up and went to US also, we got opportunity to learn about Warren Buffett. So that is another role model for us in the business. So read is while we were in masters, I got a chance to read about his Our Permanent Values biography, and that's where we got inspiration that, oh, this is how we should build the wealth, kind of thing. And then we got so connected to Warren Buffett, so we bought shares in Berkshire Hathaway. We went all the way to Omaha, and we attended his annual
Wow.
meeting also in Nebraska. So that is our one of a dream, kind of thing. And we met, I mean, not met, we are personally seen Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, Bill Gates, a lot of people in that conference as well. So that is one of a life kind of event that we say that we have to do something. I mean,
Right.
that's back somewhere in 2011, I think.
Okay.
But again, we planned and we did a lot of effort and we saved money, and so that we will start our own kind of thing, and that all worked out in the 2016 for us.
As Aravind said, we have entrepreneur by nature. We have a risk taking. That's one of the biggest thing. When we were working in our corporate jobs, we used to have a lot of friends and very good life. And everybody thought that we are taking some chances which are not in our favor. But somehow that passion for entrepreneurship that drove us towards this one, and we started. But what we know is that, okay, we will employ a few people and we'll get the projects, and we'll continue to do more and more projects, and it will just grow. So we never thought about as an organization, because the roles which we have played before were mostly a technical roles, not an executive roles. So that we never got a chance to look holistic organization level, how things work and stuff. That's where we had a bigger learnings for us. And as you asked for a goal, we never had a goal in place. We always like year on year, can we make it better than last year? Can we grow more headcount? Can we grow more projects and stuff? So to be frank, before YK joined us, we never had a sales team. So we never even thought that we need a sales team. We thought that it's all about referrals, and you do one project, you'll get another project to handle. But it created a bigger challenges whenever a majority, if you have any impact with your major client, you will have a bigger impact. So setting up a initial goal, the seeds came from the YK, that you need to think big and work backwards on getting achieve it. So unless you have a goal, it's not only a problem for you guys, but it's also a challenge for all the people who are making a journey with you. So setting up that goal and walking towards that helped us to learn many things and also make everybody to be part of that goal.
So I think what I'm hearing is that, with a lot of entrepreneurs, that might really be the journey where you have this, you've always been inspired to do this, and the journey actually starts many years before maybe you even start the company, but then you get started. And I think it would be also very common for people to have the expertise, but maybe when you're finally in a role where you're managing things, it may be more challenging to do some of those things than necessarily the technical challenges of it.
Yeah,
So
it's obviously it's not that one day I'll woke up and say that I want to be entrepreneur. It won't be the case. It's a kind of, you have to have that vision and mindset, and that
Yeah.
risk taking is another, Ajay mentioned. So those are very important qualities every entrepreneur need to possess, and maybe need to confident about those qualities as well.
So, Vaike, I'm curious to know from you. Uh, so, Ajay and Aravind have already talked about where they were when they started speaking with you. But I'm curious to know what it was in Ajay and Aravind that you saw at that point that you decided, I think I should give this sort of engagement a shot.
So I'll be very honest. So I had no clue what I was getting into, as I said earlier. All I found was they seemed to be very passionate, and based on my understanding about their backgrounds, they seemed to be very serious because they came all the way from. Most of the people would not come back from US and start something here,
Correct.
and so I felt it's good to work with them. So essentially, now I can say I have a framework, but at that point of time I didn't have framework, but I was subconsciously I knew how to assess certain things. Normally I look at people value system first, right? That's my fundamental non-negotiable thing. I work with people who have a good value system, so that I found them, they have it at that time, very high level. And strengths, I could see what their strengths and where the missing things, that is easy for me to work on fixing it. But value system, somewhere I felt that they would be scalable because the way they have their philosophy about the whole wealth creation. And also I felt that they are also somebody who can generate wealth for others as well. So people who will work with them, I felt there will be a long term thing. But these all are like the very initial thoughts that I had. It's like a feel good factor that yeah, I can work with them. But it was after a year, I would say, we were doing a very transactional engagements, right? Do this scope, do this coaching, do this small sales enablement. I think after 1.5 years or so, I think we lost a project or something. That is when they both came, actually said, can you actually help us on sales? If you remember, you guys one day came to my house one of the evening and they said, you come from corporate and you have experience. Until then, I also didn't realize I had that experience. I was always in the coaching mode. I didn't look at the growth consulting side. So then we did some sales enablement, some all those things. Then I was slowly started getting into the actual growth, how to build this help them on those things. So uh, yeah, that's how it got started. And then we all together that time from, why don't we, instead of doing this transactional small engagements, can we get into that? 100 crores vision was there earlier, but my involvement working with them until 100 crore got formed. And that's when I created we have one DP on WhatsApp group between three of us. We created a 100 crore logo, and that's how we started. So the journey formed, the whole engagement and the journey, the way we decided was almost 5 years back, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think, again, it's very interesting that maybe, you started off with trying to fix sales.
Yeah.
But eventually, I'm guessing it became like a very comprehensive
Yeah.
360 degrees. You don't get to this point without, having to sort of work on every single aspect of the business. But let me get started with, since we mentioned sales, what do you think changed with, how you were doing things prior to 2018 and what changed after with NeoStrategies and YK's involvement?
Yeah, and maybe before the answer, I just want to add one thing here. So you're right, you just got one very interesting point here. It was not like a structured thing. I will do this year one, year two, or sales I will do, or so even though we started initially in these things, later my role got almost like a co-CEO type or co-CXO type of a role. I started working on all the different things. Of course, sales was one of the major area, but my role is not limited just under the sales. I
Sure.
kind of work 360 degrees of the company along with Ajay and Aravind. Yeah, please.
Right.
To be frank, we didn't even know what is the definition of ICP. Okay, so we came to know that there is something called ICP has to be defined to be successful in the sales. So if you look at it, the fundamental building blocks, right? So that's where YK helped us significantly is defining, right? So if we were to, like, if I have to look at other way around, if you have started in US, if I had a sales guy, then I have to work back to see what are all the support he need to get. But we started from a bottom up, that we started building all the fundamental building blocks, so that when somebody comes at a on-site new sales guy, he has everything is ready to get the execution done. So that's where, when I compare to a lot of our known people and stuff, right? So first thing they do is they just go and hire a sales executive, a super senior sales executive, and hope that things will happen.
Just drop pollinators.
Right?
Yeah.
So you just like go and hire a
The
20
sales guy
years.
is supposed to do their job, so they'll just handle it.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but actually we took the very hard path, to be frank. So we defined ICP. I think we went through almost like over the journey of 5 years, we might have redefined ICP almost every year. So I'm sure, I'm sure most of my team got frustrated every time we coming up with the new ICP definitions all over the years, right? So defining ICP was one of the most crucial step, because without defining the right ICP, nothing else will work for you in the sales. That was our first realization. And then the working towards the growth, right? So once you define the ICP, you need to have the offerings which are interesting to that ICP, right? So
Yes.
it's not about what I want, what we want to do. It should be in the from their lens that these are the things they are looking for, which we can able to help. So having a capability is one thing, and crafting an offering and a growth or like ICP strategy specific for those ICPs, how we can make our solutions accommodative to in, so that they are easy to understand for them and make it them valuable. So there has been so many stages along the journey, and but the biggest factor takeaway is the ICP definition.
Overall, all these things we never would have known it. As you said, we were thinking it's somebody else's job, right? They'll come and they'll do hire a person, they'll do it for us. But we learned a lot thing during this journey also. As I said, we are pure technical persons. I mean, we never worked in sales, we never worked in marketing, we don't know any ABCs of it. But YK is very patient enough to teach us. It's not about building them, but first of all, his main job is to make us understand and believe that these are required. I mean, that is very hard part, right? I mean, entrepreneurs, we always say that no, it will. I mean, we have high delegation. We thought this will get done, or somebody will self do it for it, but. He patiently sit with us, coach us, and make us believe that no, these are important. I mean, first of all, making that extra effort to see that these are important for us to build the foundation so that you can scale later.
Correct.
So that we really appreciate YK support on that. First of all, teaching us, coaching us, and mentoring us in that sales process.
I think what is crucial is that, as you said, it's, you can't expect that the sales guy will just do all of this. And I think the extensive founder involvement at these stages where you've defined the ICP, you've defined the offering strategy, and the most important thing is you continue to do this over time.
Yeah.
So, it's not like somebody comes in, like a
Yes.
consultant comes in, they do this once and then they're gone out of the picture. You
Yeah.
continuously
So
need to
lot of the times
redefine
the
this.
sales, I mean,
We do get those magic proposals.
yeah, lot
Yes,
of people
I am
come.
sure. I'm sure. Like, I feel like I see so much of this myself.
Yeah.
It's like a once and done kind of a thing without realizing that this kind of a journey won't happen if you don't do this every year.
I want to talk about the way one is me telling them what is good and all those things, but also the way they have taken a decisions. Initially, we had a lot of other offerings, as Ajay was talking about. The after you define an ICP, or even before that, right? We had a lot of non-core offerings, what I call. So I said, let's build a company which is like, because the strength of the founders and the next level teams initially was all integration. Instead of building a generic IT service, we had two choices, right? You can build a general IT services company, or you build a very niche company. So that's when we actually took a conscious call, a vision formation of building a world-class integration firm. So in that, the great thing about this is, yeah, this all looks nice, but you have to take business decisions. Like, you have to let go some business decisions. We closed off some business decisions. We spun off a separate business unit just to focus on this thing. That's when people talk about risk taking. One of the attribute of a risk taking is this: when you know this is the right thing to do, but to do that you have to take decisions. So they had that kind of a risk taking ability to say, okay, we'll let go this, and that also has to have with a lot of conviction that, yeah, we want to grow in this direction. And luckily, both Ajay and Aravind actually believed in that vision, and we worked on the same vision. There is no change. And even today, if any non-core offering comes, we do take a little bit just to from a certain other reasons, but otherwise we're corely focused on one area. And that also helps in sales is not about, as I said, it's not about one person, some consultant coming. It's a journey. It's a every year when we have been growing almost 50% and an average 40 to 50% growth. When you are actually growing to the next stage, you have to become a lot more, like, for example, initially you would have started with SMB customers, mid markets. When you go to enterprises, everything will get evolved. So that is where it's a continuous thing, and it requires a lot more team effort, a lot more strategy. All those things need to come into play. It's not a short term game.
Okay. I think what I'm curious to know is, even if somebody has the perfect ICP definition, the offering strategy to get to this like golden number of 100 crores in revenue, I'm guessing that you would have still had to do a couple of things after that. You still have to push. So what might that have looked like?
Yeah, definitely we went through multiple phases. Like I said earlier, So you need to evolve at every time you double your revenue. You have to completely change your strategy on how you're going to pitch, right? So there are multiple phases where we doubled our revenue. So every time the ICP is becoming, like I said before, the ICPs are becoming very irrelevant. So we initially had a strategy of working with the TIPCO was our core strength. So that was our ICP. And then we went into a partner-based strategy. And then we went into a uh, multi-integration enable partner strategy. And then we finally choose MuleSoft as our core selling platform from a sales point of view. So it went through multiple iterations, and every stage we have to define the offerings and have to build the teams which are aligned with that. So initially we build offshore sales team with some lead generation, lot of outbound effort, and BDM support from offshore. So first 1-2 years it was all offshore team which was trying to do the lot of sales. It was becoming a challenge. And then on-site, I mean US, we onboarded few of the referral consultants whom we thought that a lot of have executive connections who can bring in the business, so that offshore sales team could support. But it was not working as expected. That's when we invited YK to come to US and have interactions with it. As a part of the engagement, it was not planned. So this is something we requested, and he immediately accepted it and came and started interacting with some of our key stakeholders, right? Both for customers and also to the partners, right? We have a multiple partnerships. One is with a Kong, another with Workato, MuleSoft, TIPCO. Multiple partnerships were there. So in that journey, uh, YK got convinced, and he helped us to understand uh, how these partner systems work and what kind of people and teams are required for this these type of things, and what changes are required. That's when we identified that we need somebody. MuleSoft is a right strategy, and a lot of customers are moving from TIPCO to MuleSoft. So we built an accelerator. So we need to promote that accelerator so that the MuleSoft team appreciates us and also take it to the market. So the GTM strategy got evolved from there. That's when we saw big jump in our sales. Once we are defined, after all these iterations, that was our final ICP, came to realize that this is a MuleSoft is your core strength where you need to go build, and these are the things they needed it, and these are the teams. So we strengthened our offshore team, and we strengthened our all the offerings and the solutions, right? We came up with this innovative solution that will be helpful for the MuleSoft account executives to sell it to their customers, so that they will get a new customer, and we'll also get our customer in serving the MuleSoft. That really worked. But along the process again, after the next year growth, we realized that everything is good, but we can't execute all the strategy just from the offshore teams. We need a on-site sales executive. That's when we brought in one of the ex-MuleSoft account executive itself as a sales head on our side. That really, what do you call, gave a massive boost to the sales engine. Uh, it's all because of the bottom up. We already figured it out. A lot of the things are needed for this new sales executive to be effective once you go to the market, right? So all the go to market assets are available and the teams are available. All we need to do is promote bigger time. And this not only fueled to acquire close to, just after this new sales guy joined, we acquired close to 100 plus new logos for us, and also we won the partner of the year award for the MuleSoft.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So
That is wonderful.
so there are close to 300 plus partners in the MuleSoft, close to 2000 plus partners in Salesforce. Everybody trying to do the MuleSoft also, but to be compared to them, we are very new in the partner ecosystem, only like a 2-3 years old. Our partner ecosystem, because we solved all the fundamental building blocks of further growth and reach to the milestone, and we are very intentional about it, right? YK has been saying is that just don't take any decisions, be intentional about what exactly we are trying to solve. Like you have to define the problem correctly and solve it, either with the people or process or with the technology, right? So one of them, there is multiple ways to solve the problem, so that's where YK comes in, help us that maybe it may not be same way of problem solving for all the entrepreneurs, right? Well, somebody if already has a sales uh, maybe he's some founder is, if he's already good with the uh, evangelism, right? For him he need a operational support. Somebody who is good in the strategy, he needs somebody to evangelize the our offerings. So a lot of those decisions are carefully chosen and methodically executed, then only we are able to achieve the consistent growth, right? So we have been consistently growing close to 50% ever since YK got onboarded. Uh, yeah, that's
I,
where it was made a lot of difference.
I want to add on top of what Ajay said is just if I have to split the 6 years into two parts, the first part is more of like, we are trying to clean up things which we should not do and what we don't want to do, all the non-core and all those things, trying to, get a focus. I think last 3 years, I still remember, when Ajay, by the way, in this journey, Ajay used to be in Singapore. As part of the growth strategy, we shifted him to US. So I said, I don't know whether his family liked me pushing, saying that go from here to US because that's where we wanted to focus as part of our strategy. So I went to Atlanta, and me, Ajay, and Kiran, who's our CTO, we were brainstorming about this thing. So I still remember very vividly. Ajay was asking me, YK, do you think that this MuleSoft strategy will work? So I said, it will work, but we need to do something. How do we, as I said, right, there are so many partners. So how do we actually penetrate into that? That's where we actually ideated, brainstormed, and we already have a strength on that TIPCO side, and we built that. We are trying to move to the MuleSoft, right? So we built that accelerator, the T2M accelerator, what we call, and then we have got the idea of accelerator. Now we need to figure out how do we penetrate. So that's when actually I personally built some relationship with some of the MuleSoft ecosystem people, and we got some good insights, and that's when we started working together. I think the last 3 years has been a fantastic journey because I have worked with a lot of these companies, very other companies. Cracking a partner ecosystem for somebody like a smaller company like us is extremely difficult. And the award that Ajay is talking about, the partner, they were competing with other big, large global service integrators, right? System integrators. So it's very, very difficult. So I think that's where once again I would say Ajay and the team and Aravind, the way we have invested into the ecosystem is very, very actually appreciable because it's like you have to invest a lot before you can get any return, right? So it's the partner of year of the award is a kind of a, it recognizes all that efforts we stood out because if you really look at it, in the whole journey you're constantly trying to play onto your strengths. So your strength is integration, focus on strength integration, again within integration focus on this area, and you have this accelerator add on to that. If you really decode how we got into this, there are a lot of building blocks we strategically planned and executed. This sometimes is not visible outside, but there are a lot of building blocks
I'm
went there.
sure. I think, I think what I'm getting from all of this is that, and that was going to be my next question, is that it seems like there are two things that are going on when decisions like this need to be made and you need to move this quickly. Firstly, you need to probably do like extensive planning, or the direction in which you want to go, the opportunities that you'll pick up on, which gives you this kind of clarity with which you need to make these decisions. And the second is, well, okay, sure, you have the plan, but you also need to be very agile. Like, day to day, you need
Decision.
to,
Yeah.
you need to make those decisions. And that again brings me back to the point of, I think it would be difficult for somebody to do a one-time thing, like a one-time planning and then just
Yeah, on the
not do
planning
anything.
side, Manisha, so as we also know probably, we do the annual business planning.
Right.
We define our core offerings, incubation offerings. Every year we actually evolve. So it's continuously, like even now the biggest thing that we are now focusing is 100 crores is done. Now what next, right? That they will talk about. There's a bigger thing. So
we are approaching April, so this is like
yeah.
the best time to do this.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have been doing the business planning. I would say one of the thing that for sizes of our size of our companies, probably business planning they may not do. Even if they do it, they may not go into the depth. That the team has evolved in the last 4 years. Is like our business planning is like a bible, but sometimes we deviate, sometimes we follow, but essentially fundamentally that is our guiding this thing. So planning got inculcated into the culture of the team very well, compared to if you ask me what I've seen 6 years back. Now there's a 180-degree shift.
Yeah, we started 4 years back this business planning concept. I mean, first 3 years, first 2 3 years, we were more on coaching and cleaning up part of it. But next is the planning part. Initially, we thought, what is this business? I mean, why we need to sit together, brainstorm for 2 days? What is that requirement of it? But yeah, now after this 4 years, it evolved a lot, and all the organization also understands it. I mean, it's not only us now; everybody next level, everybody understands, and they also know where to refer for the planning of the next year and how to make the tweaks and other things. And we just concluded last week for us for the plan for next year, and definitely plan now. We reached this golden milestone of 100 CR. Now our plan is to go to 300 CR in next 2 years. So that's a big milestone that we have.
Yeah.
And I think with the plan, anything can be achieved. I mean, without plan, whatever good goals you have, it's very difficult to achieve. But yeah, we are very confident with our planning and with support of YK and Neo team, we will be able to achieve that goal of 300 CR in next 2 years.
I think the numbers keep getting bigger and the time frames keep getting shorter.
Yeah.
And now I kind of understand why that happens. So I think for anyone sort of watching or listening to this, I do think that when you fix a lot of the fundamentals initially, you do expect that acceleration, and that's just how it happens.
Important point, Mayansh, is that fundamentals. Lot of entrepreneurs I know or I work with, the fundamentals is the thing that takes a lot of time. A lot of patience, right? If our when I say Ajay and Aravind have put a lot of trust on me. I want to define what the trust element. One of the element is that patience, right? As like Ajay was saying that the magic proposals will come and fix it in 3 months. That won't. I mean, sometimes I was wondering, even before I started my journey, people used to say 10x growth, right? I was always thinking, what is this 10x growth? People really they do it, or it just comes like this, right? Now, if somebody asks me what is 10x growth, I have a complete
You have a
playbook.
template. You have like,
I have
okay,
a complete playbook of what it takes, right? It's very, you have to clean up, you have to stabilize, you have to bring the teams together. There's a lot. We'll talk about people side, but yeah, and the sales side, all I would say is that Ajay moving Ajay to US, and he taking the lead and penetrating the partner ecosystem is one of the biggest accomplishment, I would say, that we achieved as a team.
Right. And I think, I'm curious to know again, when you try to do something like that, I'm assuming that you have an extensive network that you have to like reach out to. Does it help that, in some, like all new clients are in some respects networked with each other?
Yeah, we do have that new community of our 15 plus companies that we part of the community, that we do get help from each other and learn from each other. That also maybe Ajay and Aravind can talk anything on that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like-mindedness is very important, because entrepreneurship journey is a very tough journey. So every day it's ups and downs are there. Every day it's a lot of unknowns will be there. It is not something we learned in any school or college, right? Oh, if this is happened, this is a solution. There's nothing like that for the entrepreneurship. What I liked about Neo is that you guys created a community. YK created a small entrepreneurs community. All of them are like a like-minded. I mean, similar journey, right? I mean, if somebody is at a 2,000 crores, 5,000 crores person may not understand our problems, but everybody of the similar size, similar backgrounds, and similar path in the journey, it's easy to get connected, exchange ideas. I mean, everybody must face a different issue, right? We don't need to do the same thing. I mean, you can learn always from the mistakes. So YK conduct all these Tuesday sessions with the rest of the community, and share the ideas between the founders and all that information, and we work more collaborative. I mean, all of us like 15 companies works more like a sister concern company. So if I don't have one offering, I'll project the other offering. So it's easy for us to scale. We don't need to become an Infosys, but we all together can become an Infosys as well. So
We
put
that's a
already
good
together.
have a
thing.
many,
Yeah.
because we work, as you know, Manisha, we work on a very niche offering companies. So we have a good all niche if we integrate everything, I think we already have a decent size of a services full play
Full
services company we have. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the
Yes.
most wonderful thing.
Yeah, especially two things, right? One is a new sales, getting a new acquiring the new customer, and a growing the customers, right? So the most of the niche firms will get into the challenge is, okay, now with whatever the all the building blocks, we can start acquiring the customers, right? So growing these customers need a more than what we can offer as a niche service, right? Because a lot of the times they may need a more of these niche services anymore, right? So once we implement these integration projects and streamline all of their integration challenges, so there may or may not be more integration problems to solve. That's where this community comes into handle for our strategic account mining, that we could offer just like sometimes that we do compete with a bigger scale SIs, where they can go to the customers with a big list of offerings that I can offer you 20 different services to you, right? If you can make us as a single point of partner, and they are present geographically also across the globe. So as we are growing up, and we started competing different people at different levels. Initially we are competing with the small niche firms like us. Now we are at a stage where started competing with a bigger, more matured SI companies. So having this community is gives us the power of not only sell our own services, we are also confident of adding, because they are also being coached by YK, and they are also very
Similar value
focused
system.
companies like us. So we are able to build our book of offers to the customers, saying that okay, we can do more than integration. These are all other things we can do, and we can go and compete with the bigger players now.
The number that you mentioned, 150 clients, I think that is very impressive. So I wonder, what the strategy is over there. How do you keep them on from year to year? Like, what is the strategy there?
Yeah, that's an interesting challenge we have right now. So that's when SAM comes into picture. The SAM is strategic account mining. So just like ICP, the strategic account mining is another playbook we learned from the YK, and we are trying to implement Neo frameworks. So few things before you can speak more about SAM is the building blocks of the SAM, right? One is we need to acquire the customers, and then you need to have the right team in place to make it. So our COO currently was doing both delivery and SAM, and one change we have done is, because of the high number of customers we have, it needed a much more dedicated time and strategy to implement the IP which Neo has produced, right? So there are a lot of playbooks we use from the Neo, especially from the offerings, ICPs, SAM. So many different frameworks are there for different stages. So currently we are working on solving this the SAM side of it. So one thing, even in the new sales side, acquiring the customers, one thing we played critical role is the our COE and pre-sales. So YK has identified that a lot of other companies are missing out is what we have uniquely that we can offer to the market is our pre-sales strength. Because the prospects, right, when they come, first of their interaction happens with the pre-sales. Once the sales guide has initial conversation, so they have to take in through couple of iterations of pre-sales journey. If and we had a great strength from our CTO Kiran, and also our COE had Pradeep. They are extremely technical savvy, and YK helped us to identify that we should leverage on this strength. Not many people can able to leverage on this strength. So we were able to build these accelerators very quickly. We can able to understand their pain point of what exact pain point they are trying to solve, and we can able to give them the roadmap of how to solve this one. This is not very easy for a lot of people. A lot of people know technical stuff, but understanding their actual pain point and giving a technical solution, that is very unique to us. So that's where we leveraged as part of our sales strategy, that pre-sales and COE becomes a most critical part of it. We dedicated a lot of resources towards that one, and that as I said, we acquired just in last 1 year 100+ customers and overall 150 customers. So now we are asking our pre-sales team to see how you guys can help to support growth of these customers. One is from a community, we are building a offers book bigger than what we have right now, and also from a pre-sales side, we are doing a private webinars and also uh, workshops, a lot of activities as part of the SAM playbook from Neo. We are trying to implement them in a way that we will have a dedicated strategy. Even those, right? So, end of the day, it is dedicated accounts, right? As part of the SAM playbook, you will have to answer a lot of questions to categorize these customers into various stages. Not all the customers are a good fit for us, or we are not a good fit for them. So you need to filter out all the customers, which are your strategic customers, where they have a lot of needs from us, and also we are a right fit for those customers. So the framework will help us to identify those customers, identify the parameters, and have a dedicated customized strategy for them. Just like we had our MuleSoft dedicated strategy on how to solve them with the accelerators and thought leadership, we are building a same playbook on the SAM side right now on how to help these customers to solve their problems even beyond integration. That's where we are. We are very confident that with the new SAM strategy, we will able to grow much bigger because it's not a solution that we can't continuously acquire more and more customers, and we need to retain these customers using SAM and also grow those customers.
When I listen to you describe just how much effort goes into building all of those frameworks and implementing it, you realize you need to have very good teams to be able to implement, like to match the strength, to be able to implement all of the strategies. So I'm curious to know, as you went from I think initially like 5 employees to now close to 400 employees, what's changed with how you deal with hiring, organizational strategy, culture of the organization?
Yeah, good question, Manisha. So initially we started first year we were like 5 to 10 people of the organization. I think we grew to 20 to 50 people in the initial 2 3 years. I think first time when I met YK, we were just 50 people
50, yeah,
organization.
very
That is where we met him, and our organization revenue was around 8 CR was the revenue for 50 people. And the major challenge was, yeah, there's a lot of pieces were missing. I mean, obviously, right, the sales, marketing, should I hire, or if I hire, where is the project? If I get a project, where is the person? So it's always chicken and egg case for us,
Yeah, which
whether
should come first.
which one should come first, right? So always we take a on-demand choice kind of thing. If I get a project, I'll hire a person. But if I hire a person, if project goes away, what will happen? So there's a lot of questions every day spin around in our minds, like what is a financial decision, what is the burden on the payroll. So those are all, for any entrepreneurs, it's very common. So that is where we started journey in 2019 with YK. 18 December we met, and then 19th is the engagement. Initial 3 years was mostly fixing this people problem, fundamentals, and cleaning up and systems wise. So coaching. First of all, we understand what is required. Me and Ajay got 1 year of coaching from YK. So that took a lot of time for us to change our belief system, become confident, and take a decisions more confidently with the data. Because once the data is there, it's easy for us to take a decision. But when there is no data clarity, that is where entrepreneurs stuck to see that which direction they need to go. So from that journey till now, I think in the revenues we grow from 8 crores to 100 CR. So that's almost like a 12x growth we had with the 45 CAGR, 45% CAGR. And in the people from 50 people to 350 people, it's like a 7x growth and almost like a 35% CAGR. So if we see the metrics also, we were reducing the people, but we are increasing revenue. That is also model saying that, yeah, we are operationally becoming more and more efficient now. So that's one parameter I can say. And over this one, initially we started the people building with the SBO activity. So we follow the Gallup framework here. So we learned how Gallup works, and that is how I met YK in the ACE coach, session. Me and Ajay took the sessions, and I was a conductor in the Gallup. There's a three pillars are there: conductor, rainmaker, and expert. Three people required to run a business is what we understood from the Gallup thing. And then I came as a conductor. I'm good at managing the things, organizing the things, and Ajay is more of a expert. He bring in a lot of deep ideation, technology into it. But we were really missing the rainmaker for us at the time. That is where YK said that unless you fix rainmaker, you won't increase the sales. We were thinking till the time, as I said, oh, referrals or some customer will come. So all of a sudden somebody will show up. So that is our, we never tried
Right.
for it. We were thinking that we are hoping that people will come and ask for the business to us. So
Because you
that,
think you're good enough, right? Like we have
yeah,
everything
yeah,
right. So
we
why
are
people
good in
just
technology, we are good in
people
that,
should
people
just
will come up. But
yeah.
that's obviously they won't come up. So why do they come to us, right? Where so many options are there in the world. Then we had to hire the rainmaker. So YK helped us within his network. Maruti is our COO. So we bring him as a, it's been 5 years. Maruti is associated with us. He came as a COO, and he has a rainmaking capability. So once we started with Maruti, that's where we understand that what is missing in us, right? I mean, that's a
Yeah.
natural strength. So
Yeah.
wherever he goes to the table, wherever he talk to the customer, he'll point, say that where is money. I mean, in discussions, always says that what is the budget, what is the money, how much you want. We could never ask that question. We always say that we have to serve the customer. We never ask him that go and pay us thing. So that is a natural strength. So that's where we understand fundamentals were missing for us. So once Maruti comes in, the wheel F1 team was fixed for us, and that helped us to grow starting. In the following year, we really enjoyed that first year. Maruti coming in, improved our fundamentals and then operations kind. Next year we take it to the next level also. So we took a Gallup survey, Gallup test for all other next level leaders, and we understand their strengths and weaknesses as well. And that is where it helped us to see that why, I mean, we were always struggling. Oh, this person I'm paying this much, and this person has a role of this one. Why you can't do this one? So we were always confused, like why they're not doing. But once we took the Gallup, we really understand what is their strengths, and we align them based on their strengths to the roles that they need to perform. It's not about a standard organizational structure. It's more about the strength-based organization. So that really worked for us. It improved the relationship among the teams and trust among the teams, and they are also enjoying their roles because they are now playing to their strengths, not against their weaknesses. And overall, that team building effort was thanks to YK. It really helped us over the years to see that that is important piece why we are at a 100 CR goal, because without working, because we are in the people business, IT services is a people business. Without
Which
people
people
working
forget. I
together,
think yeah, you need to
yeah,
have the people working.
without people working together as a team and enjoying working together, it would be difficult to build these kind of businesses.
Right.
So definitely, since we both are only founders, we need a extended team also to give the same kind of support that we are working. And that people building activities from YK and explaining every time. And he attended almost like a 100 to 200 interviews of the senior leaders, and he guessed them like what to do. So it's not like everybody will do it right. So he coaches and saying that for us also now know what to ask in the interview. So at initial stage we were like technical. We know what is TIPCO, what is MuleSoft. We'll ask questions, but we don't know how to assess the leadership qualities and other things. So he helped us hiring all the next level leaders also. After he joins, most of the senior leaders go through Gallup and then have a session. I mean, interview with YK before we take them, so that we want to fit them in culture, we want to fit them in the vision and all those things. So then only it will work as a recipe. So that's where I think it's fantastic to work with Neo strategy for us, especially YK. He personally took a lot of interviews for us.
Yeah.
So, YK, my question is going to be, so basically now if you get to get to 100 crores, you need 100 frameworks and a minimum of 100 hiring like
Oh yeah.
interviews.
So yeah, sometimes people think what I do for these companies, especially for Prowess, because it's not, as I said in the beginning of this discussion, right? It's not just fixing sales, or some people even think that I just bring clients. No, no, that's not. It's a lot more deeper and very, very intense work. One of the thing, if you really look at people side, as Arun rightly said, it's all start from founders. We started founders and then next level building. Even Maruti was one of our executive client who I was coaching earlier, and then I could quickly do a fitment for these, and he's culturally fit and strengths wise. That's what we look at it, right? The person, we are very
Values and strengths.
very very careful in whenever we are bringing somebody. As I said earlier also, I look at the value system of the person, cultural fit, right? For Prowess, Second thing is because I know the culture of the organization, the founder's value system, that's very very carefully we bring and look at their understand their strengths, and once they bring them onto the board, and we really inculcate that strength based concept of focusing on their strengths rather than wasting a lot of organization effort and this thing fixing the weaknesses. That's the whole framework we follow from Gallup, right? And in this journey also on the people side, one thing I want to add, there's obviously a lot of complexities will come as you are bringing new people, new things, and we are also dealing with very senior people, right? So when you're working with senior people, because we understand the lens is the value system, culture, and the strengths, not necessarily going into the other way around. It is relatively easy to understand the people. Once you understand the people, you can assemble the team. But we are trying to fit people into squares, into circles as well. That's when these things. I think again, once again, I want to really appreciate Ajay and Arvind. They believed in it, and unless the founders believe in it, we can't do it, because sometimes I do it for other organizations also. Sometimes the founders may not believe, they'll think that what this all these assessments do you need. In fact, some founders ask me, do you need all these things, why are you doing this, as if I'm doing for this thing. But you have to really get a
Building blocks. You
building
have
blocks,
to
right?
have the building
So it
blocks.
again takes that the one by one. Now we are a company, even the next level teams understands the the whole strengths concept, how to work with them. And in between, obviously when you're working with the very very senior people, there will be conflicts and different of kinds of problems, right? But we have been solving, and also looking at that earlier what Ajay was saying about this whole Sam and CG. Ajay, along with this, obviously he's a co-founder, but he's also chief growth officer for Prowess. This year, for our next milestones of 200 to 300 crores kind of a journey, we need to do a lot of reorg. Whenever we are designing an org structure, org based on every year's goals, we also have to carefully take care of all these subtle elements before you put the people. So right now, we feel we put the people in the right roles for the next level of growth. This is something, it's not talked about very detailed in general about the effort that goes into putting the right people into the right roles. It is easy to define KPIs, but you must have first right person in the right role.
Yeah.
That's the complex thing. I think this year we spent more than almost 2 to 3 months to really do a org change. We feel we are at the right people wise, we are all aligned. I feel we have a great team, and it took a lot of journey, as these guys as I
Lot of
said,
time and
6 years
effort,
to
definitely.
come to where we are. Yeah.
I think, now that we have spoken about all of the things that went into, getting to this point of 100 crores, I'm actually curious to know, if you go back in time to 2018 or even before, uh, and now to 2025, what are some of the, I mean, I'm sure the journey has had ups and downs,
Yeah.
but what are some milestones that stand out to you? Either it could be like, something that didn't really go as planned, or something that went really well, that gave you this confidence, or this confidence that you have in pursuing, now we say, like 300 crores in the next 2 years.
Yeah, I'll give some, maybe Ajay can add later.
Yeah, I would love to hear from the three of you.
Yeah, so initially, when YK, as you mentioned on the WhatsApp group, he said that we should pursue 100 CR, it was like I can't believe it. I mean, we were just like 8, 10 crores, 15 crores kind of organization. Achieving 100 means you need a lot of projects, right? I mean, we're doing 3, 4 projects, we have enough people, so I don't know how much growth we require to achieve 100 CR. So first of all, I could not calculate, and I could not, I mean, my futuristic very low. I could not actually envision anything in the future kind of thing. But YK said that no, I mean, whenever he comes to me, first he asks, "What is your vision? What is your goal? What is?" I never said. I said, "I just want to be an entrepreneur." I never had any goals, kind of it. That is my. But he inculcated the habit, saying that you need to be goal oriented. You have to plan. I mean, once you have the goal, you do all the backward planning, and you know the steps how to achieve that kind of thing. So from the journey wise, I think first is team building. I mean, able to build up fantastic leaders. I mean, I'm confident that I'm very certain that even though without me or Ajay, the organization will run out. So that is a confidence that we have on the team that currently we have in the next level leadership. So that is what important for the scale up of the organization. It should not be person dependent. It should not be founder dependent. Even though we move into a professional setup kind of thing, this organization will flourish. Is my confidence now. So that is the important step. It's not a one point thing, but it's a journey. Over the last 6 years, we fixed a lot of things and we made a lot of decisions to make it happen. More of a process. I mean, leader dependent. I mean, not a person dependent kind of organization. That is a big achievement that I can say. The second is building this next level leaders and then telling them what is their strengths, and they also understand how to find their next level leaders and how to coach them, how to understand their strengths and other things. That is another big achievement we did over the last 6 years of the time. And next, getting into, I mean, we removed a lot of non-core, as I said, UI UX was there, WMS. We did a lot of non-core practices because as entrepreneurs, when opportunity comes up, it's very difficult to say no to it, right? We always accept, oh, somebody is good, some project will come, so let's accept it, kind of thing. So we were thinking that you keep on expanding more offerings so that you'll get more business, kind of thing. That's a usual practice that mindset we'll have entrepreneurs. Over the last initial years, we stumbled, we invested, we wasted a lot of time, and we decided that these are not effective for us, and let's focus on single thing. And we removed a lot of non-core offering like UI UX from our plate, and that saved us a lot of time as well. That is important. One thing that we did as a together team. Next is through the journey, getting into this niche is very important step for us. I mean, finally we decided let's build a one tool, become an integration experts, and onto that become a more focused onto one area. That decision and then execution onto that one was another key important aspect happened to us. And as YK said, getting into this ecosystem of 2000 partners and standing out top 5 partners of the year is not easy.
No.
So last year we were the partner of the year in Above and Beyond category. Next to us is Capgemini, Accenture, Deloitte. So standing our logo next to them is like a dream come true kind of it. So that also worked well with the YK effort, and think we were able to achieve that one as an organization. And then expanding into, I mean, coming out of one geography which is not working, moving into newer geography like US and expanding there where the market is, and penetrating into this verticals of MuleSoft and working closely with AEs. So that all worked out well for the last 2-3 years. And I think people wise we are expanding, but yeah, we still lag in AI and other things to pick it up. So those are the focus areas for next year as well. But these are some I can think of.
I like to divide into two things, right? One is the personal growth, one is organizational growth, right? So, first thing as a founders, like Vivek keeps saying that we have to believe in something, right? We have to believe that, one is our vision is there, that teams has to believe, but biggest first and foremost realization we got from the Gallup and YK's framework is a strength-based approach, right? So that always when I was in US and interacted with a lot of HR people during vacation, so they always say that okay, you keep improving your weaknesses and just continue to focus on your continue to nurture your strength, but you have to improve your weaknesses. But YK is the first one told us saying that don't worry about weaknesses, you can't do anything about them. So just you have to find a way to utilize your strengths in a way that, so that's when we were stepping on each other's roles a lot, because we were not sure that that there is a segregation of the roles is required, right? So we were just co-founders, we never had a titles or anything. So we both were looking into the HR, we are both looking into the payroll, we are both looking into a lot of aspects of it, right? We were copied on a lot of the emails and stuff, so people are getting confused also, like should I update Aravind, should I update Ajay, or should we update both of them? So that's when YK organized both of us based on our strengths. Aravind brings a lot of operational efficiency and strength. I bring a lot of the growth mindset and expert innovation side of it. So the team which got formed under me is more focused towards the growth and innovation side. Aravind Sark is more focused towards the make it consistent, make it process oriented, make it more operationally efficient. So that so we just had our business planning, and it was clearly segregated, saying that okay, Ajay will be focusing on the top line, Aravind will be focusing on the bottom line. So we got to that level of clarity to our next level teams. If at all I am saying something, they know that okay, I'm trying to push them to a new thing because I want to grow the top line. Like if Aravind is pushing something, something
sell my
he's bringing, so they know that
product.
Aravind's focus is bottom line. He want to bring efficiency, so he want to make some tough decisions. So that level of clarity we got, and our teams also got, right? That's a personally a big achievement for us. From organization wise, like Aravind, most of it covered with respect to how we grew the teams and these things. One is the analytical growth, is whatever the numbers speak for themselves, that we have grown to 2x over the YK's journey. But at the same time, behavioral journey, right? So as a company, we want to retain the people, right? Most of our top leadership team or some of the members have stayed with us for more than 8 and 9 years, right? So but organizational challenges are keep increasing as we grow and grow. So how do we nurture them? How do we make them understand that their roles also has to be changed, and we need to identify, just like we identified that this is the area which I can do, they also need to realize that this is the area where they are good at and what organization needs it. And a lot of our teams got so flexible in changing their roles, taking up a new roles, even a different roles also in cases wherever it is required, to compatible to their own strengths based approach. So as an organization, we both had our analytical milestones and also a behavioral milestones in making sure to support those next level things. So going from this, like we still have next few years, we have a 3 to 4x growth we are expecting. That looks much bigger from the initially where it started. So we are still taking up and coming up, right? This ritual of annual business planning and coming together. So this is helping us a lot, right? Because over the time we are all working remotely, a lot of people are there different places, the gap is widening. Like everybody has a point of view because their experience, maybe I'm not part of the delivery, I'm just with the customers and more with the sales side, right? So some of the things what our delivery teams are facing with the customers or challenges they are facing, we may not able to get to know in detail. So this business planning, so it's very organized based on the neo template, that every team brings their last year perspective and also looks at what worked, what did not work last year, and how it is going to help if we change the strategy and alignment with the other teams, right? So even the delivery team need to come up with a strategy which aligns with the sales strategy. Marketing team need to come, and pre-sales and innovation team also come in aligned with their strategy to what the sales has defining their strategy for the growth. And also people bonding, so this helps to bond the people a lot. Like we do a couple of days of offsite, and the preparation towards it is very intense. We are everybody who newly joins is feels so great because some of us been doing it from last 4 or 5 years, we were not able to understand the essence of it, but whoever feels new, they really get energized and be part of the growth journey what we are doing it in stuff silently working on their own verticals and stuff. So those are the milestones I can think is what I feel is the
Yeah.
significant.
I can summarize this one, right? So when YK started our journey, our revenues were like 8 CR, 8.5 CR. Now our monthly revenues are at this size. So every month we are building the same organization after the 6 years. So it's like we are building what size of organization is. We have that similar every month of that revenue. Yeah.
Right. Actually, I would love to hear from you, YK, because I just feel like, some entrepreneur watching this might feel like, okay, so you have all these processes, and then you have like somebody like YK, so I can go to them and I would have the exact same journey. But maybe that's not the case. It's so much of it is dependent on all the decisions and all the things that Arvind and Ajay
Yeah.
got right. So this is your opportunity to talk about.
Yeah. So sometimes I wonder, I always talk about others to scale. Sometimes I reflect my own business new strategy to see whether should I actually also scale, right? I wish I have a template where I can just actually take it and copy it to 10 other entrepreneurs
Everyone
and I
else.
can give this. Unfortunately, the truth is, this is where it becomes complex, but I enjoy it. Maybe I'm blocking my own growth, but I'm okay at the this thing for entrepreneurs to grow, right? So first thing, every entrepreneur is different. Okay, their belief system, their value system, their strengths, their the way they look at business is very different. Was that itself is completely different. Second thing is the type of people they have, the kind of culture they're bringing is very different. And then the offering, if it would have been just a pure strategy, my work would have been much easy. If you have to just say, hey, go to this market, the typical GTM, if I have to hand over a PPT and saying that, hey, here is what you have to do, it would have been easy. But because I am signing up for this 100 crore journeys with the clients, it's first of all, it's a long term. I have to be with the, I mean, just for today's this thing, I'm wearing new strategy. Otherwise, I'm with the
You
Prowess
could just
t-shirt, right? I'm part of integral part of the core team. I would never treat it as a consultant, right? So I'm part of the thing, right? So that means you have to actually keep customizing for every business. First of all, you have to understand the entrepreneurs. Second, you have to understand the strength of the business, strength of the people, culture, and then you have to build a strategy. If you just build a strategy without understanding the people, I'm not sure how effective it would be. So far, m- my framework or my our new framework has been about people based strategy rather than you build a strategy and then try to bring people.
retrofit people.
So that's where it's actually it's highly customized for each client. And while there are some common things that whatever is you can build, that's where that neo community help learn from each other, all the other entrepreneurs. But 80% is actually very specific to those things, because as somewhere Ajay was also mentioning, right, somebody may be extremely good in building relationships, somebody may be extremely good in building a business completely an outbound model, somebody may be extremely good in mining existing. So you have to take all these elements and stitch a strategy is not a plain just you give that PPT and just so but luckily I enjoy the complexity. I think I get bored if it's a repeated work. That's where I know yeah, it's very unique for each journey.
Again, so since I was talking about, like, because we are hoping that some entrepreneurs will be watching this, any advice that you would have to give to somebody who's just getting started on their journey? Maybe how you look like back when you started.
What I learned from this journey is that definitely I strongly believe you need three different personalities required to run a business. So as YK jokingly I discussed with YK, you can sell a soap, you can sell a toothbrush, you can sell anything as long as you have conductor, rainmaker, expert in your team. Uh, Solo business is can be done at certain scale, but not like a very scalable kind of. If you really want to become a big entrepreneur or want a scalable business, you need these three key personalities in your business. uh, Understand who you are in that journey. I mean, who you are, that person out of these three blocks: conductor, rainmaker, and expert thing from the gather, and find the other people. Just don't get partnered based on your availability, friends, relatives kind of thing, funds and kind of thing, but you have to select your partner based on the strength part of it. And once you have these three people strength is available, I think you can run any business, you can scale any business. But that is what the lesson learned for me in my entrepreneurship journey, that this is the key piece. Unless you have this fundamental block, whatever we do other things, it may create a lot of family issues, personal issues. You have to spend a lot of hours, so it always be over than what you supposed to be spending the time. And that's my learning.
So, Ajay, I would ask you the same question. What would your advice be to new entrepreneurs?
For new entrepreneurs, it will be the same one, like understanding your own personal strengths is a lot more critical, because every step of the way, uh, the founder should not be a blockers to the growth, right? So the more founders understand their strengths and their own blind spots, they can assist the next level teams better way. And the next is their team's understanding, how the team understands the founders and founders understand the team, and get a balanced approach. And this will not happen by itself. You need an external coach to come, who gives an unbiased opinion, because sometimes being working with somebody on continuous day-to-day basis, we get into a rhythm, we continue to get into that rhythm and go towards it, but we just don't know, because when we are working, we always have a boss and have a coaching done through bosses. But here in entrepreneurship, a lot of the times, uh, people won't question you, because end of the day they feel that we are taking the risks and paying the bills, so they just try to accept whatever we say. So in Indian context, sometimes it might be little odd to have an external coach or vendor come and say it, but it was quite common, much accepted in the Western world, right? In America, you have a coach for everything, right? From your gym to the all the way to the giving the birth to the baby, also you have a coaching. So there is a coaching, and they accept it 100%. That yes, this is the area we don't know. We have to know. First of all, as a new founder, first of all, they need to accept that yes, we need a coach. It's not like that we know everything what we know, and we want to be accountable, right? So I can ask my team to be accountable, saying that okay, did you meet these KPIs or something? So as a founders, there is nobody else to make you accountable. That's where YK comes in, helps us. Because and another aspect also, right, a lot of these coaches and stuff, they will just come and give a PPT or presentation, 3 months engagement is done, you gone. So unless you get into another problem, another engagement, you will never see those people. So we had those set of the things, right? So always we were chasing those people. So in case of YK, it's the other way around. He journeys with us, right? Having a coach who journey with you is a lot different than a coach or a speaker who comes for a specific purpose and goes, right? So that will be more of enablement. That will not be a coaching kind of a thing for us. So who journeys with you knows not only the what is happening, so that he can craft his strategy as per next steps, as per what is happening. Maybe we thought that okay, XYZ has to be done. Maybe along the journey we thought that some of them are not suitable for our organization, so this XYZ has to be changed, right? So we will go into that continuous loops of refinement of our strategy and stuff, which will not happen with other coaches and stuff who are more focused on their own training programs, their own strategy, and it will be consistent, right? So they want to standardize everything and tell that okay, you go through this program, okay, now you achieve this, okay, there is a next level of program is available, you just sign up for that program, you sign up for different program.
Yeah.
But here our KPIs of growth, mine and Arvind's KPIs are exactly aligned with YK's coaching, and we will meet like religiously every week to see that what we discussed last week. Sometimes it feels odd that somebody is questioning us, but after few iterations, we understand the value of it. That yes, we really need somebody to question us and make us accountable on the things we are doing, so that even we get respect from our own teams and stuff. As a new entrepreneur, um, maybe early stage, you can do yourself because you're still trying to figure out market. You want to be first you need to figure out whether you're a market fit or your solution is a market fit. That part you can do it. Once you figure out that market fit that you can able to generate with this one, from there onwards you need to go through a lot of refinement process to become more structured organization. To be frank, we are at a less revenues. Before YK joined, we are more confused than now. Even with a higher company and bigger things and bigger targets, also now we are a lot more confident in telling the others and also for ourselves and also the family and others. Also, we are a lot more accountable for on all the aspects, not just for the numbers and the organization itself.
So I think then my advice for young entrepreneurs would be A, hire YK. B, be prepared for what that brings with it. So yeah, my question to you, YK, is that what kind of what are you looking for in an entrepreneur who's ready, who you think might be ready for this kind of journey, and what makes, according to you, Prowess so special? Like I don't think everybody could do this.
Yeah, I don't want to advise entrepreneurs what I think they also said there from their experiences, but I wanted to definitely uh, talk about my journey in summary, right? So, first of all, as I said in the beginning of the conversation, so I work with my ICPs. My ICPs definitions are somebody who has a great value system, complementary. At least I look for two founders so that we don't need to look for all the other partners, and then somebody who is scalable. Obviously, somebody who's really good with the wealth creation and wealth sharing, right? So all those attributes, actually it's a perfect ICP for me, for as a client. And some of the attributes like risk taking ability, people focus, and also they are more what you call patriotic, also very very this is something that it's like, I got somebody whom I can work with all the package, right? And I didn't expect this is like a really ideal ICP, right? They want to create wealth, they want for the people who are working with them, they want to create employment, they're very focused on all the good things, right?
Such a two-way street, right? Like it's not just you
Yeah.
give it, it's
Oh, yeah,
both ways.
absolutely, absolutely, right. And the trust part, one more time, I want to emphasize is, as in the truth, this conversation we said that there's so many people come in between, consultants, other people, they'll come and say, we'll do this. But that consistent belief that once they believe, especially Ajay and Aravind has the qualities that once they believe in somebody, they'll journey with long. Okay. For me, the challenge is, not the challenge, for me, the things that I have to keep up and cope up is two aspects. Even though sometimes I get confused about my role, right? I'm a coach, I'm a consultant, I'm a strategist, I'm a trainer. So I have five parts in my journey to build any 100 crore companies. First is the strategy. Okay, trying to understand all the offerings, strategy. I mean, all that part, right? The core strategy part. Then is the people part. That's where I probably play coach role. First is the strategist role. Then day to day, once you start the journey, it's not about just coaching or strategizing, right? You have a lot of operational problems. So that's where I bring my strength of problem solving. Then, even though you do all those things, there are common things that you continuously need to train, right? The common things, it could be SAM. We have close to 100 frameworks we built in the last 6 years. You
100
are part
crores,
of
100
these
good
things, right?
frameworks.
100 crores, 100 frameworks.
Frameworks.
So yeah, you can see even the things like Neo Planner, business planner. So we created
Yeah.
that, right? So then you have to train a bit on
Yeah.
some concept. The most important thing, last thing, is the accountability.
Hmm.
You do all the great things, but I'm equally responsible for the growth. So the difference where I see is that, if you come into any one of these roles, they become just a very confined to a scope, certain time period. My role, sometimes they'll say, what is your role, right? I say, for the lack of better word, I say co-CEO. Not that I feel good about the title, it actually brings a lot of responsibility. If I would have been only responsible saying that, hey, here are the 5 people, just coach them, my job is much easier, right? Just here are the number of sessions I'm done. Okay, bye bye. We'll see you next, right? But it's a thing. So the last thing is the accountability. So, and that accountability, one of the major thing is, while we're talking all the good things about the positive things, there would have been a lot of decisions we collectively did not do well, right? Some things would have gone wrong. And one thing that I really, really wanted, I never got blamed. Okay, saying that, hey, you did this. We never use the saying that this is YK, this is Ajay, this is Aravind, this is this thing. So it's all collectively, we always say we. There are things, I'm pretty sure, while we have taken 80% of the things, right, 20% probably we would have collectively hired somebody. That probably not a thing, because we do our best of our ability, but some things will grow. So
It's good. It's good.
that's trust for me, right? That's like understanding other person, that yeah, because I'm also human, we do mistakes, right? We do these things. That's what actually goes. There are some things high. So sometimes I feel like, suddenly one fine day we'll say, hey, we are doing extremely good. Next day I'll say that we lost a big client, let's say, right? But you have to go through that whole thing. It's like any relationship, right? Long-term relationship. And for me to be able to do, for me the easiest thing is I can play all the 5 roles, but entrepreneurs should have that trust and give me the comfort. I am also, as a person, I'm also freedom driven person. If I get a space, I can contribute more. Okay, the moment somebody try to
Constrain it.
control it, then I'm not at my best of ability. That's, I think, the greatest of among anything, the trust and freedom that I got with this thing.
And availability also fantastic. So usually coaches, right? I mean, always they're bound by the time. I'm coming on particular time. You tell me. But entrepreneurs' problems are every day, 24/7 for 365 days, right? I can't say that I'll get problem only on Wednesday evening 7 o'clock, right? That is not the way it works in the at least early stage SMBs kind of our size of companies. YK is very flexible and very helpful in that angle. Whenever we call, I mean, even though sometimes my team says that I'm not available, I never heard from YK that I'm not available. So he always available. I mean, it's not that we are taking it granted kind of thing, but problem is like that. I mean, I need to talk to YK on weekend. I need to talk to him on Saturday. Sometimes the client might be available only at particular Sunday night somewhere, but he never says that he is always kind of a flexible to support us wherever the important decisions are there, and we are really appreciate him for that.
What I'm hearing from all of this is, I mean, anyone who chooses to go down this path, think long term, a lot of work,
Yeah.
risk taking, decision making, and the people have to be right,
Oh, yeah.
without
Yes.
which this would never happen.
Yeah, finally, I want to thank Ajay and Aravind for the trust and the journey 6 years. Now the main challenge is this is like a part one, right? So
I'll be back after 2 years asking this question.
so if you remember, Manisha, we did take some
3
kind
years.
of a testimonial 3 years
Yes,
back, 2 years back actually. So Aravind, I still have the clip with me that says in 2025
We
we
will
will
reach
meet
it.
100 crores, and you guys have been asking me why are you not publishing that testimonial. I said I'm not going to publish until
until
we meet 100 crores.
Mhm.
Now,
and we're here.
so now you have to just take this, and then we'll come back once we meet the next big milestone.
That's
So
correct.
next 2 years is going to be an
But
extremely
we're publishing this, huh? We're not waiting for it.
no 100
So
we can publish.
That is
Okay,
achieved
okay.
target now.
achieve target. So I'll keep quiet until we meet the next target. I'll come
Yeah,
back
that
to
is
you.
a good thing about YK. I mean, a lot of people promises a lot, but people don't wait for the delivery. I mean, I really surprised that YK did not use it this so far when I heard it, and
Yeah,
that is that trust he has on his ability to say that we will meet it. I mean, let's wait to publish it, right? And you have promise and you have a delivery, and you combine both of them. That's where the use case, right? That's a fantastic way.
That's fantastic. Thank you, everyone, for
thanks.
a
Thanks,
lovely
Manish.
chat this morning.
Sure.
Thank you
Thank you
so
very
much.
much. Thank you,
Thank you.
YK.
Thank you.
From our
Thank you,
side
Vijay.
also, we are really appreciative of coming you in our lives. I don't know why it happened, but it all God sent kind of thing. I mean, we could have taken I don't know what path, where we were, but we are happy with the path we chose and the way you helped us with the direction. And I always say about YK, right? He's more of a for me. We always make a journey, but the destination is important. If you make YK always makes your destination tilted by a degrees kind of thing. So
Mhm.
he knows the goal. If I'm tilted, he'll just move you in the right direction. So his job is to make sure that I'm moving in the right direction. So he's very good at that, and we always boggle down next step kind of thing. But that step should be in the right direction. That is where his strength and effort supporting us. And thanks for that,
Thanks.
YK.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Ajay.